Hello friends, Kelly here, and this is my Inktober sketchbook, and we're going to go through all of the days just all together from this year and look through all of my illustrations, all of my sketchbook spreads, and talk about Inktober this year because we made it. If you don't know, Inktober is the month of October where you draw an inked drawing every single day with traditional ink. Pens and brushes. And traditionally, Inktober has prompts, one-word prompts for every single day. I did not want to do the Inktober prompts because I feel like they're kind of restricting, and I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to do prompts that I was excited about. And so I made all of my own little prompt pieces of paper and made them all fall themed or spooky themed, and then I threw them in a big bucket and I would just select a different one for every day. And so that's how I did the prompt list, but people do Inktober very differently. You can have your own rules. You can do, maybe you just want to draw once a week or every other day, whatever works for you, whatever kind of challenge you want to do. And some people even just call it Drawtober. They don't want to be associated with Inktober. There is a little drama there, but I'll let you look that up yourself. And also, Drawtober is more inclusive for every medium, so you could just make it a Drawtober for a digital drawing or painting or anything you want. I personally love drawing with ink, so I, of course, usually tend to do a traditional ink sketch every day. And this year, I decided to do a sketch spread. So not just one drawing, but an entire spread of my little sketchbook. And so we're gonna go through that today. One of the questions I get a lot is like, what did I use for my tools? And these are the three tools I used the most during this Inktober this year. First is this Pigma Micron 05 pen. That was probably my favorite utensil that I used the entire time. It's just a small little pen, and that worked really well. My paper here is very, very thick, as it's kind of a handmade paper, and so it's very thick, and I needed something that could actually have enough ink to use for that paper. I will say my favorite pen I was not able to use with this paper, so to be continued with that. I also use this Pigma FB Japanese pen, brush pen. It's got a little tiny tip there, and that worked really lovely, actually making thicker lines than the 05. And then I had this. This is my little, one of my favorite tools. It's just a plastic kind of water brush. I have another one that I just put water in, and then I can watercolor paint while traveling. But this one I filled with a little bit of ink and some water to make a little brush pen that is lighter than full ink. You could just fill just ink in this and make it an entire brush pen. The ink I use, and I keep it in a bag because I don't want it to accidentally spill. Because most of the time I keep it stored away, but I just have this very affordable India ink that I chose just to, start with ink. You don't have to buy super expensive stuff to get started with ink. I think that's silly. You'll see that I don't have pencils here. I don't use pencil sketches when I'm ink drawing. At least not at this time, at least not with this type of sketching. If I'm using a pencil sketch before I ink, it's probably for something that is a more finished piece. And these ones have all just been little explorations and kind of just, just sketching and having a good time. I think one of the keys to completing Inktober is making it accessible for you and making it connect with your values and your goals. And so for me, I just wanted to make sure I was drawing every day. I didn't want to create a complete finished piece. I just wanted to spend at least 15 minutes drawing. And I would say at the most, I was drawing for maybe 40 minutes for one of the days. But most of them were like around 20-minute sessions of just sketching and drawing fun things in my sketchbook. I didn't want to put too much pressure on what I was creating. As you'll see, some of these are maybe not the most beautiful, but it was a fun challenge. And you can see all of my videos where I'm drawing every single day in my Inktober watch list. So make sure to watch that playlist, and without further ado, let's get started. I have my little handmade journal here, and we're actually start a couple pages into it. But my first day was camping, and this one was, I was still trying to figure out what tools I wanted to use and what tools I liked. And so yeah, trying to figure out this paper took me a few days, but I do really like this. I like the little eggs. It just makes me want to go camping. Then we have harvest, and I had apples and pumpkins and everything. This was really inspired by my harvest of, I have a CSA, a community supported agriculture box through the summer and fall, and I get all sorts of things, but a lot of apples, a lot of corn, and we did get some squash as well. So that one was fun. Ghosts is day 3. I liked just having fun with this one because for most of these, I used references I found on Pinterest, and this one is just like, oh, I can just make fun squiggly little ghost guys. And I really, really love how this background turned out. I used some ink wash on the back. I should say that what I would end up doing sometimes is put a little bit of my ink into my palette and then add extra water, and that'll make an even lighter wash like this. But this pen directly made a darker wash like that. So I was able to make different wash tones. I just love ink. I love wash tones. I love black and white. I don't know. There's just something about the starkness of it that I really enjoy, and color hurts me, so. And here we have fall treats. This one just made me hungry, but I love drawing food. You'll see that theme throughout. It's because I love to eat food, so I love to draw food as well. This was the first try of my deer prompt, but I'm still showing it to you because not everything we make is good, and I'm not familiar enough drawing deer, and so this one was a little bit more of a challenge. And so I was like, you know what, let me try again. And page 2 was a lot better. Still not perfect. Deer are very difficult. I have not practiced drawing deer at all, so I clearly have a lot to do in that regards. Animals in general, I think I could spend more time with. And then we had villains. I decided to go with Disney villains, so I chose 2 very fun ladies here, Cruella and Maleficent. And this, of course, was just drawing based off of reference. So a little less creativity involved, but still a lot of fun. Tractors. Tractors were another challenging prompt because, again, I don't draw a lot of vehicles, but I actually, looking back on this now, I'm much more proud of how this turned out. At the time, I was like, these don't look like tractors at all, but actually not too bad. You'll see though that I gave up drawing tractors and started drawing wheelbarrows because I was like, I cannot sit here and draw another 15-minute tractor because that's how long it took. Boots. Okay. I love drawing shoes because, again, I love shoes. So I think that my favorite things to draw are shoes and food. I do love to draw people as well, like characters and people. But part of that is drawing their shoes and their clothes. And so this was probably one of my favorite sketchbook pages. I just love how these all turned out. I think they're super detailed and fun. Drawing laces is somehow super therapeutic for me. And yeah, I just highly recommend drawing shoes. Well, I recommend you drawing what you love, but I like drawing shoes. Then we had Halloween candy. And you'll see even between these 2 sketchbook spreads how I'm using the micron pen for this one and then this brush pen for this one because the lines are thicker, but it makes a more cartoony look. And then the smaller pen is a little more detailed. But this is fun too. I just like having a whole bunch of things all spread out in a page. This was books, I believe the prompt was books. And this one I started to struggle with because I was like, can I draw things that are not books? Because I'm not just gonna draw rectangles all day. So I did do that, and you'll see that I did add this little Pride and Prejudice nugget, if you can read it, but that was my fun little thing to myself. So I just added things that I would think would be in a library or on someone's bookshelf. I like that a lot. Spiders. I'm not a huge fan of how this spread turned out. Again, I don't draw spiders very often. I think this guy turned out really cool, but the rest are just kind of, ew. They're fine. They're fine. Leaves. I like this one as well. I thought I was gonna like this one even more, but I don't know, something, I think I maybe added too many different tones or something, but yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I like drawing leaves. They're very therapeutic to draw. Witches was the prompt for this day. And this was definitely more creative, even though like the layout and the way things are situated on the page aren't quite as cool as, say, the Halloween candy, right? It's not quite as eye-catching, but it was fun to think, okay, what is associated with witches? Obviously I drew a couple witches, but I also wanted to draw some other things. So the cauldron, little bubbles, and the frog are really fun pieces that I enjoyed making. We have sweaters. Again, just love drawing clothes. And I love sweaters. You can see that I'm wearing one right now, which is kind of similar to some of these that are on the page. So I loved doing that one. Black cats. Again, I'm not huge into drawing animals, but some of these aren't too bad. Like I really liked how this one turned out. Maybe because you can't see his feet. And this one was okay. I was getting there. This one's kind of frumpy. But again, Inktober is about learning and stretching and growing, so I did a lot of that for sure. Candles. I really like this spread. Again, it's something about, I love doing this like background wash and making something pop. I wanted to try doing that because like the candles are fire and light, and so how would that look like? And I don't know, I just really love that. I love how all these candles look with all the wax dripping off of them. Yeah, I really liked that one a lot. We have gravestones as well. This one was interesting because it's not something I think about drawing much, but you know, I have some vines going over that one. I really liked that one. And I'll say too, while we're here looking at this, that I definitely think I succeeded in Inktober for myself because I was able to draw every single day and I was able to put a video out every day. And I think that was part of the challenge for me because releasing a video every day definitely added to the time spent on it. But I'm so glad I did. It was so much fun, and it was motivating to have all of your support. So thank you so much for watching all those videos and supporting me. I had vials and jars, and I thought like, oh, this could be something like canning jam or something. But I made it spooky. I made it like, this is an alchemist with all of their ingredients for their weird concoctions. So we have lots of interesting things in these vials. Okay, this might be my actual favorite sketchbook spread. The prompt was skeletons, and I don't study human anatomy much at all. And so these are very cartoonized, and they're inspired by Over the Garden Wall and the dancing skeletons that are in one of the first episodes of that. I think it's episode 2. And so I have my fun dancing skeletons with pumpkins on their heads, which just turns out to be a great way to avoid drawing the skull as well. So I loved how this turned out. Added some leaves and pumpkins to kind of make the sketchbook spread pop. But then we had bats again. Animals. There's something about animals, not my strong suit. I thought they're okay. And again, because there's not a lot else going on, it doesn't look like a very cohesive sketchbook spread, but I'm always happy to try drawing something different. And I know they're not super accurate, but I'm trying. Oh, I really like this one too because I love tea and coffee. And I really enjoyed coming up with like the different types of tea and coffee drinks on the bottom. That was super fun. Yeah, this one just like looks cozy and fun and I love it. So if I was gonna choose one of these, I'd definitely take that little tea right there. It's so cute. And then we have apples. This one was pretty straightforward. Got caramel apples and some regular apples. Jackets was a prompt here. Yeah, again, I just love drawing clothes. I will say, like, over here, my water washes kind of bled into each other. I didn't let it dry enough. But overall, happy with that and always enjoy drawing some clothes. Mushrooms. These turned out better than I expected as well because I don't draw mushrooms a lot, but maybe I should more because it was very fun. And like these ones just like, they just pop. They look so nice. So I really like the mushrooms. I also like the flowers, the fall flowers. I know not all of these are really fall flowers, but you know, I just went for it. So at least where I live, tulips are not grown in the fall. They are planted in the fall. The bulbs are planted in the fall, but you're gonna see tulips in April and then they will die in 2 weeks. Then we have jack-o'-lanterns, which was another really creative one because I could just make up all these fun little faces. My favorite is this one up here. He's just like looking. It's so cute. My prompt for trees was a little challenging because I spent so much time on this one and then I was like, okay, I don't have time to do that again to fill the rest of the page. So I tried a few different ways, different styles and techniques for drawing trees. And so yeah, that one was really fun and informative. You just gotta like experiment sometimes, and that's how you create your style. It's just experimentation, seeing what you like from other artists and just melding that all together to create your own style. We have fall food, mostly just a lot of comfort food, and we got the bread and cheese and pie and I don't know, pizza is a comfort food, fall food for me, so I added that as well. Lighthouses, and they didn't all fit on the page perfectly, but this one was a lot of fun as well. We visited a lighthouse this fall, and it was just it just feels very fall and wintry because that's when the waves are really big and, you know, the need for a lighthouse is definitely there. And then nearing the end here, we've got squash and all sorts of different types of squash. And finally, we have my Over the Garden Wall boys, Wirt and Greg. And this one was really fun as well. I love how Greg turned out. I think he's just so cute. And that is my entire Inktober sketchbook. I made it all 31 days. So many great prompts, so many videos that you can go watch right now. You can watch me draw all of this. And again, just thank you so much for joining me in this Inktober. I'm definitely looking forward to doing Inktober again. I've done it for several years, but I don't always manage to finish every year. Usually I'll start strong and kind of stop. So I'm really excited that I completed this Inktober and that I have a drawing for every single day. And I'm really excited to do it again next year. So let me know if you participated in Inktober or Drawtober, what you made, and what your favorite piece from my sketchbook is, because this one was so much fun and I just have yeah, a lot of good ones in there. So thank you again for watching. Thanks for hanging out here, and I'll be back soon with another video. In the meantime, have a fantastic day. Bye.